What's going on, everyone? It's Mark here, Aloha Friday with MC Super, and today we're going to look at disaster storage shelving and the anchorage of it in a post-tension parking garage. Let's go. Okay, as you see here, here's our foot plate in the post-tension deck. Okay, everyone, let's look at our ACD detail for the foot plate. So first of all, I'm not a huge fan of this detail because as you can see here, it's having us tap and die in this foot plate. I think it would be a lot easier to just weld that, but this is what was submitted to the state. So since it's OSHPD, this is what we're gonna go with. And a lot of people don't like OSHPD, but I believe it's actually easier to kind of get when you're a beginner, just because even though everything's expected, all the detail you need is possibly on here. For example, it says you need to scan the slab in case there's rebar. A lot of drawings wouldn't say that. It's saying you need to paint this. It needs to be A36 steel. The bolts need to be A307. There's more information on the base plate on this drawing. This far away for our Hilti, we need a 3 1/4 inch embedment. And I mean, absolutely everything we need to know is on here. So first of all, we need to figure out the size of the plate. So basically with this plate, we know that we have 1.5 inches minimum between here and 4 inches on each way with 1.5 inches here. So basically our length has to be at least 11 inches and our width, 1/2 inch, 4 inch, 1/2 inch has to be at least 7 inches. But just in case, let's upsize this a little bit since it is a PT deck. So let's make this 18 by 10 inch dimension here. Now what else we'll need is we'll need an A307 bolt, inch by 1/2 inch by inch. And we're gonna tap this in. And basically what tapping is this bolt is threaded and we are going to thread the inside of this since it's actually not going to anchor to it. So when we do this, since it's a 1/2 inch bolt, we gotta make sure that we use a 3/8 bit to drill this hole so we'll be able to get the threading. The other thing we need is painted A36 steel. So I recommend just a spray paint can. It'll be quick, get a 2-part primer and then an enamel paint so the rust does not show through and it looks nice. Now the important thing, we need to order these Hilti KB TZs. So as you see, we need a 3.5 inch embedment. So basically, since we have a 3/4 inch plate and we need a 3 1/4 inch embedment, we are going to want to get a 4.5 inch Hilti. They make these in 3 3/4 and 4.5 inch. Okay, let's talk install. So the most important thing is you're going to want to talk to your inspector. They all have different rules and how they like to handle it. Most times with this install, the inspector will be okay with you tap and dyeing, drilling holes in the concrete and laying out per your base plate. The one thing they will need to see is they're going to check the depth of your Hilti. They're going to torque test it and make sure the holes are clean and that we did not hit rebar. So as discussed earlier, we went with the 4.5 inch Hilti. That's because we need a 3 1/4 inch embedment and it's a 3/4 inch thick plate. So basically what's going to tell us is we can go a maximum of 4 inches into the concrete and this would still work. That is this minimum H nominal. And the other important number is going to be this 40, and that's going to be the foot-pounds of torque in which we torque this to when the inspector checks it. So I believe when the inspector checks it, the letter of the law is that he will periodically check them, and then he has to, if he fails one, he's going to have to hit 20 in a row before you're good. Also, when you are tightening these down, I recommend that you don't pull really hard on the torque wrench. Usually they have a long lever so you could really crank it, because if you pull too hard, this may open up a little awkwardly, so I would pull slow. And then if you pulled hard, you could potentially see this red line and the inspector will fail you. So basically, I believe we can show a 1/4 inch of threading and it would still be acceptable. The inspector will come around, check that the holes are clean, watch you tap some of these in, and then come back and torque test them. And pretty much that's what we need to know with our Hilti embedment.